The new MacBook Pro, probably the most discussed device in the last year. First it was hyped because of its touch bar, but then one problem after another occurred. People reported faulty touch bars, unacceptable battery life, keyboard faults and USB Type-C issues. But is the new MacBook really as bad as many people say? And why did Apple remove all the important ports? We had a closer look at the new MacBook Pro 15-inch and went down the rabbit hole to reveal Apple's real story about the new MacBook. So magnets, welcome to this week's episode of The Truth About, where we go down the rabbit hole to reveal Apple's real story about the new MacBook Pro. We had a closer look on the MacBook Pro 15-inch, which we got from Cyberport. Follow the link in the description down below. This is real innovation. Apple's new MacBook is more expensive and less compatible than ever before. But why did Apple do this? Why did they remove important ports? Made their premium product even more expensive and pissed off their customers? Well, because they can. If we have a closer look at Apple's history of innovation, we can see that the design of the MacBook hasn't changed in years. Not even the totally bad front-facing camera has improved. But Apple's market share is still growing and growing, and macOS is getting more and more popular. Probably it's because of their premium standing and the alternative facts that only creative people use Macs and just ugly gamers and losers use Windows. But isn't it stupid and makes creative people look like losers? If they need a couple of $100 adapters just to charge their iPhone on their newly bought $3,000 working station? To be honest, this is a dick move, Apple. I paid almost 200 euros for adapters from Sataki. They are great, of course, but a lot of money just to get normal sized USB port, a HDMI port and an Ethernet port. This makes me mad. Also carrying around the dongles all the time is just pain. Anyway, the fast Type-C ports are great for SSD usage, and maybe also eGPUs might profit in the future, but that's already it. Apple finally had to do something. Somehow they had to make their new MacBook look innovative, after being so quiet for such a long time on their Pro notebook product line. So what is new with this model? The updated MacBooks have a newer chip, but don't use the newest technology in form of the Intel Kaby Lake. They still go with the last year's Intel Skylake CPUs. They have faster storage, which is a huge benefit, but already max out at 16GB of RAM. Of course, for the casual use and consumers, this is more than enough, but for real developers, probably not. So why do we pay so much for it? Apple notebooks have never been high performers or gaming machines. They are thin, have a premium look and run overall more stable. The operating system tends to have less bugs and lasts long. They also have good battery life. Further, you should not forget their high resale value. Old 2012 MacBooks still retail for about $500, which is a huge amount of money for a 5-year-old laptop. Let's get Apple innovative. The 2016 MacBook also has new features, of course, or let's call them gimmicks. The touch bar is cool, works fine and looks awesome, but is definitely not a pro feature. It carries a lot of potential for future application, but to be honest, it distracts me now and is not faster than keyboard shortcuts. For me, it's way too small and misplaced. We cut videos on a daily basis, but using the touch bar in Final Cut is absolutely useless and in no way faster than using the keyboard shortcuts. It doesn't matter how cool sending emojis, playing Pac-Man or piano is. It's not a game changer. The new keyboard is loud, that's a fact, but to be honest, it does not bother me. I actually like the sound it makes. Also, they were proud of the new huge touchpad, but the area is just way too big. The gestures don't even need so much space. What's really good about the new MacBook is just the super fast SSD speed and the bright display. Fast SSDs are expensive, and even upgrading our Asus gaming notebook to SSD, which is as fast as the SSD in the MacBook, costs around $400. The battery life is definitely not as good as in the older MacBook, but still way better than with most Windows machines. So finally, is Apple overpriced? Well, yes it is, but all premium brands are. At least you get a reliable laptop with a high resale value. And if you're already stuck in the Apple ecosystem, then there is no way around a MacBook anyway. There's just one thing I absolutely don't like. If you can't afford the premium model, then it implies that you are not wealthy enough, or that you are not a creative, hardworking person. This is still the message which Apple wants to send out. But what if I told you that working on a Windows machine, if you know how, is at least as good as on a MacBook? Well, Apple sheeps will always be Apple sheeps. So this was episode 3 of The Truth About. Make sure to check out our other episodes as well, and please subscribe so you don't miss any of them. I'm Flo from Tech Magnet, and this was The Truth About Apple.